Wes tu har min friend and welcome to another unboxing and review video. This time we are going to look at Weta Collectibles' Legolas Greenleaf statue from The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. I know, if you've been following my channel for quite some time, you know that I'm not an overly huge fan of the Hobbit trilogy, as opposed to the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which I consider to be one of the best films in the history of storytelling and filmmaking. But that does not change the fact that Legolas is a great character in the books and in the Lord of the Rings films, and Weta Collectibles is probably, in my eyes at least, the best manufacturer of the Lord of the Rings statues. So this is the box right there. This is a 1/6 scale statue, I believe, which means that it's going to be a slightly bigger statue than the one that I opened the last time. It was this 7-inch tall Saruman statuette, and as you can see on the box here, it says limited edition, and you've got the picture of Legolas and how what the statue is going to look like, the logo of the Hobbit. As you can see, the turnaround of the statue from the back and from the side. He's going to be in a quite nice dynamic pose right there, and at the back you can see other collectibles made by Weta that you can get, such as the Bolg, the Orc, and some of the Hobbit holes, some of the pendant of Toriel, alright. The vambrace of Legolas, that would be cool to have, and the Mirkwood gold key and the runestone. No, I'm not really interested in having these, but I'm looking forward to opening Legolas Greenleaf. This is the readout. You can pause the video and read it out for yourselves if you so wish. And this is one last picture of Legolas along with the Weta logo. So, let us open this bad boy and see what he looks like. Once again, this is the front of the box. And let's dive in. Once you open the box, you have, of course, the typical polystyrene casing with a tape all around it with a quality control past sticker, which means that the Legolas statue inside should be, hopefully, in a pristine condition. At the top there, you can see Weta Collectibles logo, and now just it remains to cut the tape all around and get inside and look at what Legolas looks like. And at this point you will be able to see some gloves on my hands, because yes, I am that kind of collector who likes to keep my statues as pristine as possible and avoid exposing them to, all these different bad things that can be found on our dirty hands. As you can see, this is the bottom of the base, and it's hand numbered. My number is 101 out of 1500, so this is a limited edition of 1500 made all around the entire world. We can see the Hobbit logo, Gary Hunt, who was, I think, the sculptor, and once again, Weta logo. And there you can see Legolas in all his elvish beauty, my friends. It is indeed a very, very highly detailed collectible of Legolas being in a dynamic pose, probably from the scene in Mirkwood, although I have to admit that I haven't seen the Hobbit movies in a long time, and I know that of course he wasn't in the book, so I don't remember correctly what his role was in the films, but we can pretend that it's not from The Hobbit, but from The Lord of the Rings. He is in a slightly jumping pose, holding his elvish white knives in his hands, wearing his typical grey-green elvish robe with a strap that is holding his quiver. It is of course made of polystone, is not made of leather, although it's very nicely sculpted, very detailed. and painted in a way that it looks like genuine leather. Now, at the back of the statue, you can see Orcrist, the sword of Thorin Oakenshield. If I remember correctly, he took Orcrist from Thorin when they imprisoned the dwarves. You have to assemble the Orcrist. You have to put it on Legolas with a little peg, as well as his right hand. What surprised me quite a lot was the fact that the bow has actual, string here, which, well, looks very fragile indeed, and you have to be very careful and very cautious not to break it, because that would be a pity. His bow is, of course, on his back, as well as his quiver and his arrows. Everything looks very detailed. This looks as if it was made from wood, and he's holding, as I said, one of his knives in his hands. This is the base is very, very detailed as well. There's a bit of polystyrene still. You can see the map of Middle Earth on the base, which is a thing that is common for all the Lord of the Rings statues by Weta. This one in particular is, I think, the map of the Misty Mountain. This statue being from The Hobbit, of course, and from this very simple but beautiful base, a rock arises with some moss and grass on it, and of course you have to assemble Legolas here with a little peg again. There we go, we finish our turnaround. Let's look at the detail in the face. It does quite nicely resemble Orlando Bloom, especially the Hobbit version, in which they gave him very, very, very blue, very bright blue eyelids, and his hair being almost white, that extremely blonde. Overall, my friends, I'm quite satisfied with this statue, Legolas being, of course, one of the more important characters, him being the elvish representative of the Fellowship of the Ring, and I will now try to get Gimli to display him next to my Legolas, and once more, shall we look at the statue from the bottom to the very top. So, once again, Weta has proved that they are really my favorite manufacturer of the Lord of the Rings collectibles, and I can't wait for opening more of their products that I've got in my collection still unopened, and I'm also looking forward to reviewing those that I've already had on display for quite some time but haven't reviewed them. So let me know in the comments down below, my friends, what you think about the Legolas Greenleaf statue from Weta Collectibles, and if you're going to get it as well. And that will be all. Thank you very much for watching, and namaste.